So what if I told you that you could train your mind just like you train a muscle at the gym? In this explainer, we're going to dive into the science of building real mental strength. We'll give you the tools to sharpen your focus, get a handle on your emotions, and, truly take charge of your inner world. Do you ever feel just totally overwhelmed by stress? Or maybe you find your focus just shatters at the tiniest distraction. It's so easy to blame ourselves, right? To think, well, that's just how I am. But what if it's not about who you are at all, but about how you've trained, or maybe haven't trained, your brain? Okay, let's get right to the core idea here. For a long time, we thought things like intense focus or being calm under pressure were just innate gifts. You either had them or you didn't. Well, it turns out that's not true. Your mind actually works a lot like a muscle, and with the right kind of training, you can make it seriously stronger. So we're going to call it your mind muscle. And look, this isn't just some catchy metaphor. It's a very real, scientifically proven ability to beef up your mental and emotional skills through practice. The most important thing to get here is that this is a skill you can build, not some talent you're just born with. Now, this mind muscle isn't just one single thing. You can think of it like a full body workout, right? It's made up of 3 core pillars of strength that all have to work together. Let's break those down. First up, you've got self-regulation. This is your ability to manage those impulses, to stay focused on a task, and to keep your emotions in check. Then there are your interpersonal skills. That's all about how well you connect with other people, which is really the foundation for things like empathy and leadership. And finally, there's self-motivation. This is the engine that drives your creativity, your ability to solve tough problems, and to make clear decisions. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but where does this mind muscle actually live in the brain? Let's jump from the concept to the biology and meet the command center that's responsible for all 3 of these strengths. Everybody meet the medial prefrontal cortex, or let's just call it the MPFC. The easiest way to think about it is as the CEO of your brain. It's the central hub, the control tower that orchestrates your self-regulation, your social skills, and your motivation. So when we're talking about strengthening your mind muscle, we're really talking about strengthening this specific part of your brain. All right, now this is where it gets really, really cool. There's this constant battle happening inside your head 24/7. And your ability to feel calm and focused versus stressed and totally overwhelmed, well, it all comes down to this neurological tug of war. So on one end of the rope, you have your MPFC. That's your calm, rational CEO. And on the other end, you have the amygdala. That's your brain's ancient, primitive alarm system. Here's the kicker. They have an inverse relationship. It's like a seesaw. When that amygdala alarm is blaring because you're stressed or scared, your CEO, the MPFC, goes offline. Its function literally drops. But the second you quiet down that amygdala, boom, the MPFC comes right back online and you get your focus and your control back. And you felt this in the real world, right? We all have. Think about test anxiety. You know the material, that your amygdala fires up, your MPFC shuts down, and poof, your ability to solve problems just vanishes. Or fumbling your words in a really important meeting. Anytime you feel that intense anxiety or anger, your brain's performance is pretty much guaranteed to take a nosedive. So, if this tug of war is the problem, what's the solution? How do we actually train our brain to keep our CEO online, even when things get stressful? Well, the answer is this ancient, time-tested brain hack that directly targets this very conflict. The practice of meditation gives us a remarkably simple 2-step process. Step 1 is to intentionally calm the amygdala, to basically turn off that screaming alarm. And once that alarm is quiet, step 2 is to actively engage and strengthen the MPFC, building up your CEO's resilience and strength over time. Now, this isn't just some temporary fix. The reason it works is because of this incredible feature of your brain called neuroplasticity. Basically, your brain physically rewires itself based on what you do over and over again. It's just like lifting weights builds muscle fiber. Consistently calming your alarm and activating your CEO literally builds and reinforces those neural pathways, making that calm, focused state your new normal. So, the big question, how long does this take? Well, research suggests that if you practice consistently, you can start strengthening these new neural pathways in as little as 8 weeks. And by 12 weeks, so about 3 months, you can start to experience noticeable, lasting changes in your mental strength. It's a workout, it takes time, but the results are absolutely real. Okay, enough theory. Let's actually do your first mind workout. A super simple but really powerful exercise you can try literally right now. But before we start, let's talk about posture because this is a surprisingly huge piece of the puzzle. Your head is heavy. Okay, think of it like a bowling ball balanced on this tiny little stand, the top vertebra of your spine. When you sit up straight, it balances almost effortlessly. But when you slouch, your neck muscles have to strain all the time just to hold it up. And here's the aha moment. Those very neck muscles are directly wired into your brain's alarm system, the amygdala. So a straight, relaxed spine sends a direct signal to your brain that says, hey, everything's cool, we're calm. All right, here's the exercise. First, just sit tall. Keep that spine straight, and if you can, have your hips a little bit higher than your knees. Second, just notice your breath. That's it. You don't need to change it, you don't need to control it. Just observe the physical feeling of air coming in and air going out. And third, and this is the most important part, gently return. Your mind is going to wander. That's what minds do. The real exercise, the rep for your mind muscle, is noticing that it's wandered, and then, without any judgment, just gently guiding your attention back to the breath. And this right here is the core insight. For this practice, try to think of your breath not as something you do, but as an event that just happens to you. You're just the observer watching it happen. This simple shift in perspective, from trying to control things to just observing, is exactly what calms that alarm and starts to strengthen your brain's CEO. So we'll leave you with this question to think about. Just imagine if you could consistently keep that calm, focused CEO in charge, even when you're under intense pressure. What could you accomplish if your mind, instead of being a source of distraction and anxiety, actually became your greatest, most powerful ally?